Okay, let's begin. As I mentioned before, welcome everyone. The purpose of this webinar is to help you during this time in order to understand what needs to happen to reopen your business during this crisis, this global crisis that's going on. My name is Devin McCrossin. I'm the marketing director at Boomtown Internet Group. Boomtown Internet Group has been in the digital marketing and web development space for over 20 years. So we have seen the industry evolve and change numerous times during that period, and we want to share our expertise with you guys so that we can help you transition your businesses to more of a virtual marketplace that we're seeing emerge here. So let's get started. As you've been seeing in the news recently, the opening of the economy is not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be some light switch that we flick on and everything goes back to normal. There's going to be a transition period, and we want to help and make sure that you are ready for that period and that you are able to spread the word to your customers that you are open during this time. In order to do that, I've broken this down into 3 areas that you need to focus on in order to successfully reopen and relaunch your business. Those areas are visibility, communications, and operations. For visibility, you want to make sure that you're reaching out to new customers in this new virtual space. How can you get in front of them when so many people are competing for their attention? Secondly, communications. You want to protect your current customer base. You want to overly communicate and overly prepare them for what they can expect. And lastly, operations. In this virtual marketplace, how are you switching internally, making changes to your website, making changes to your workforce? That way you can fully deliver your products and services to your customers. So to kick this off, for visibility, how are you reaching new customers? The first step is to create an online marketing strategy. Nextly, implement that marketing strategy effectively on online platforms. And lastly, optimize your Google My Business listing, which is becoming more and more important as more people are searching for you online. So to create an online marketing strategy and to successfully reopen and relaunch your business in a virtual marketplace, it's a little abstract and has 5 areas that I want to suggest that you focus on. The first one is your goals. Has your business changed? Are there new goals that you need to now work towards? Do you need to pivot your offering or change things with physical distancing? Second is your audience definition. Are you servicing the same audience, or has it expanded or changed and as a result of your new goals? Is your brand voice changing? Is there different things in your brand that you want to highlight now? Do you want to come off to your customers differently than you used to? Next is your content. What do you want to tell them about your reopening? What precautions have you put in place to keep your customers safe? And lastly, the tools and how you're going to be able to implement all of these things. So this is very abstract, so to put it in a more concise term, we created a little case study for you on car dealerships. So we've been working with one of our main clients as a car dealership to help them transition to a virtual car buying process. Since you're now able to notarize things online, this is their new goal. They want to put everything online. And while this was pushed ahead by the coronavirus, it's something that's going to stick around. So they want to make sure they're investing in it now, because this is going to be the future of car buying, even after the economy fully reopens. For their audience definition, nothing has changed. It's still people who are interested in cars, but now it's people who are more comfortable with an online shopping experience. For their brand voice, they have lots of different characteristics in their brand, but the main things that they want to highlight now, which we have helped them as their digital marketing experts in the past, is that they have exceptional customer service and they're community activists supporting many local charities. So those are the main brand voice images they want to push out to their customers at this point. For their content, They want to create some type of infographic or blog post or a very clear process about what car buying is going to be like online. They want to capture the visuals of their sanitation precautions and behind the scene things that are happening to make customers feel comfortable during this time. And lastly, they have to offer sales and discounts to incentivize people to come in and participate in the car buying process. For the tools, there are tons of free marketing tools that you guys can utilize during this time. One of them is Canva for content creation. This is great if you're not a graphic designer and you still want to create visually exciting graphics for social media or whatnot. Hootsuite is also really great. It's a free scheduling platform for social posts. So if you're not used to scheduling social posts or getting the word out there, this really decreases the amount of time it takes you to schedule and become more socially active. SurveyMonkey is a great way to capture customer voice. This is really important during this time because they want to see, how is this car buying process impacting their customers? Do they want changes to it? Are they understanding the process? And that's a great tool to capture that necessary data. And lastly, email marketing. MailChimp is a free tool to help you with that so you can better reach your customers. So next, I want to talk about how we're going to implement some of this online marketing strategy that you're pivoting towards. There are 4 main platforms within online marketing that I want to go through with some tips and tricks on each, including social media, email marketing, content marketing, and advertising. So for social media, the #1 thing for social media is to create engaging, punchy content. It has to be visually appealing and it has to have a call to action. These are some of the main areas that people tend to overlook in their social posts. For Facebook specifically, you can create an event for your grand reopening and invite everybody that you know, everybody that all your employees know. You want to make sure that people know that you're opening. And this is a great way to leverage that. Even if the date changes, you can put it within a range and customers are very understanding of that during this time. For hashtags, I know there's lots of opinions out there about hashtags, how they look, how to use them effectively. But the basics of it is they're like keywords. You have to have them. And you want to make sure that they're trending. The more trending, the more visibility you get. Also, you can create a branded hashtag and that will help create buzz around your specific reopening. And lastly, the customer voice again. Your social platforms are a great way to stay connected to your customers. And within that, you can search or ask questions to them so that you're servicing them and providing the products and services that they need at this time. For email marketing, I just want to mention you want to over communicate and over prepare. There's lots of tools out there that you can use. The most popular ones are MailChimp, which I mentioned is free, and also Constant Contact, which are really good for email marketing. The content that you want to make sure you're pushing out is information about your grand reopening, whether it's changing or not. I know there's always new guidelines coming out from the government. But it's important to continue to let your customers know what you're focusing on in your business. Any type of distancing changes you've made, store hours changes, any way that they can communicate with you during this time. You want to push out some type of incentive for people to share your emails with others and forward them along so that you broaden your reach of customers. And lastly, again, the customer voice surveys can be added to your email marketing campaigns as well, or you can use LinkedIn lists if you're a B2B company. For content marketing, the #1 Google trend of all time is coronavirus or COVID. So you want to write something using those search terms on your website right now, because you're going to get a lot of visibility and traffic from just using those keywords. You want to do that by writing a press release. You can publish it on PR Web so that you get guaranteed larger audience. You can offer incentives or discounts, giveaways, contests, and you can promote that through your social media as well as through your email marketing for some of the content you're creating. During this time, it's also important to do cross promotion. So you want to post on other companies' blogs and write articles for them as well. Try to get published in news sources. So that way you can get in front of the customers who are new compared to your current customers. And lastly, when you're choosing blog topics and article topics, you want to make sure they're shareable. And I mean that they have some type of point of view. They may be a little controversial, something that people are going to want to forward on to other people is how you increase your visibility when you're writing specific types of content. And then the last area is advertising. Now I know there are tons of different platforms you can use. The top ones are Google and Bing for search results or local listings or retargeting campaigns. And what's great about them right now is Google is offering $150 credit for anyone who starts a new Google Ads campaign. So it'll be a great opportunity to take advantage of that and try out a new strategy that you might not be using right now. Facebook is also a great way to market. It's one of our most popular social media sites, and while it's more a B2C focus, everyone is on their social sites right now. So it's becoming more effective in the ad space. And lastly, LinkedIn. It's great for B2B advertising, or you can use their in-mail function, which is similar to email marketing. For your ads, you want to target specific geographical areas and specific types of interest. This will help you decrease your cost of your ads while reaching the audience that's more likely to convert. And lastly, I just want to make everyone aware of the language. Be very specific and strategic around what you say and how you say it during this time. You don't want to be an ambulance chaser. That would be a negative brand towards your business. So now I know that I just unpacked a lot of information in this slide for you guys. So I have you all muted right now during this time. So if you have any questions, please write them in the comments and we'll address them at the end of this call, or I'll unmute you at the end and you can ask them during that time. So just write anything down that you have right now and I'll keep pushing forward with the presentation. So the last thing in the visibility section is to optimize your Google listing. Google is the new Yellow Pages, end of sentence. You have to have one, it has to be updated. This is the main way that your customers are going to find you online. You need to make sure that everything is up to date, your hours, your contact info. If you formerly had a phone that was registered to an office location, you need to update that phone so that people can reach you at home now or however you're working. If you have new services or offerings, if you're doing temporary closures or promotions, and you can also update your name and description right now. So Google has released a lot of policy updates around Google My Business, you normal products. Google doesn't want you to be jeopardize your online reputation for this. So they've suspended reviews for the time. They're slowly opening them up in certain areas of industries. Another thing they're allowing is for you to change your name. So you could add like Boomtown Internet Group is open. You can now add that to your Google My Business, which you used to not be able to do. Just another way so that people can see that you're operating. And there are lots of other policy guidelines, which we can provide a link to those later or help you understand how to communicate the changes to your business on your Google listing. With that being said, I want to transition to the second point for reopening, which is communication. So you want to protect your current customer base. So you want to communicate all the changes to your business and you want to add any type of COVID-19 information to your website in a strategic way. So in order to communicate the changes to your business, I've mentioned this before, but you want to over communicate and over prepare all your customers so that they know what to expect when they come back with you. Now, I'm not the government. I'm not going to offer, advice on regulations or what physical things you need to do, but I do have links to them for the suggested new normal practices at the bottom of this slide, which I'll be sharing after this webinar is over. But I wanted to share some ways that our customers here at Boomtown are pivoting and changing and communicating new offerings to their clients. We have lots of different clients at Boomtown in many different industries, so we have a good idea of the various ways that they're pivoting. One of them is lawyers. They're offering counseling for COVID-19. Some of our photographer clients are doing social distancing photo shoots of families on their porches. Retailers are doing curbside pickup. Landscapers are quoting online. And they're using the visibility tools that I mentioned earlier in order to make customers feel safe to contact them or come back in to frequent their business. Next, I want to talk about how to add COVID-19 to your website. So for that, the number one place you should be adding any information on COVID-19 is through a page. So you want to create a page on COVID-19 and link it to your navigation. As I mentioned before, COVID-19 or the coronavirus is the number one trend ever recorded in Google search history. So there's a lot of visibility to gain from optimizing for this type of keyword. Another place where you can add it is an alert. We're a virtual company and we have been for 20 plus years, but a lot of people don't know that. So we just want to make sure that everyone knows that it's business as usual here at Boomtown. If that's what you want to alert people to, or whatever changes you've been making for the coronavirus or COVID, you can add it to your website here. You can also add a banner that either scrolls so that it's easy for them to click on and access the information that they need. And lastly, you can add a pop-up where they can learn more about how this is affecting your business, what new offerings you have. And then we have a guideline on this slide that's linked where we go through the types of messaging that you want to have on your website to make sure that customers feel comfortable during this time. So the last step to reopening is to look at your operations, how to transition to a virtual marketplace. While the coronavirus has pushed us forward, the virtual marketplace is not going anywhere. So preparing now is a great time to open new avenues for sales in your business that will stay open even after your business relaunches. So it's a great time to invest in adding e-commerce functionality to your websites, to implement scheduling tools and virtual meeting tools, and also to pivot your workforce as you meet changing needs. To add e-commerce functionality to your website, there's a few ways you can do it. The first one is to add a shopping cart. So there's been a 74% increase in online shopping from March 2020 compared to March 2019. And the World Health Organization has suggested that it is safe to get packages from businesses that even have positive results for COVID-19. So customers feel safe shopping online during this time. So it's a great opportunity to add an e-commerce functionality to your business. You can also add a payment service provider option. One of the most popular ones is PayPal. When they're seeing an 88% checkout conversion rate when you add PayPal to your site. So people are comfortable using this tool. One of our clients is a cognitive therapist, and she has added this payment service provider option to her website so that she can continue to virtually counsel her patients while accepting payment online. The last thing is to start a subscription service. Whether your business allows for this or not, it's something that we've seen as a trend that's growing. So if you do have the option to start a subscription service, we're seeing a big uptick in that. 22% of companies have seen subscriber acquisition rates grow, and specifically in the educational space, there's been a 24% surge in subscribers. So this is a great new avenue to invest in during this time. The second operational thing that you can implement right now is scheduling and meeting tools. There's many different scheduling tools that you can add to your website. And what this helps with is that customers know that they need to schedule appointments online to maintain proper physical distancing during this time, and you won't have people showing up to your business randomly, which would jeopardize the safety of the rest of your clients. So it's important to add this type of tool to regulate the flow of people in and out of your business. Next, with the virtual meeting tools you can use, we're using Zoom. We live in a Zoom world now. So I just want to mention that Zoom and GoToMeeting are HIPAA compliant if that's something that you need for your business. Additionally, I mentioned a few times that Boomtown has been a virtual company for a long time, and we fully utilize Skype. I highly recommend that for internal communications. Lastly, for your operations, you want to make sure that your workforce is set up to handle the new normal. And this can mean a few different things. For number one, your employees. You no longer need employees right now who are maybe at the front desk. So you might want to try to reposition employees to other areas in your business. So for instance, we have CEOs who are in the back of the distributors packing their supplies because they don't need anyone in the storefront, but people are ordering their products online. So there are definitely ways where you can reutilize your workers more effectively. Partners, it's a great way to partner and network right now. It's hard to get out there and reach customers, so leveraging your partners' customer bases is very important during this time. It's also important to look at outsourcing to contractors. You have your core competencies, but they might not be in the virtual market space. So finding and identifying contractors that can help you succeed to implement these changes is very important. For instance, you can leverage call centers at this time who can have a COVID-19 hotline to handle some of the call volume and free up your time so that you can better prepare and pivot and service your clients during this crisis. And lastly, operationally for project management, you want to leverage all the tools that are available at your disposal. You can no longer, manage workers directly. So how do you create that tie and that oversight? And there are lots of tools out there which can help you make sure that you're servicing your customers, providing them products on time and in full, and fully utilizing the workforce that you have. Like I mentioned before, whenever big crises happen, it's still an opportunity to find new niches, and there's lots of possibilities out there if you're prepared for them. And the coronavirus just pushed us forward into a virtual marketplace, but this was coming, and it's going to be around after the coronavirus has been cured. So we want to make sure that you're prepared for this. So to close out the meeting, I just want to say thank you for joining. And if you'd like to continue the discussion, please contact us. Like I said, Boomtown has been in the digital marketing web development space for over 20 years, so we have lots of expertise.